that round. They're still strapped for cash on this T side as well. It's the best looking one they've had so far.
A bit more pace here in a round like this.
These rounds can sometimes feel a bit liberating. Like you've just been getting bullied. Everything you tried is a little bit slower. It's felt rough. When you're playing safe, it hasn't really worked. So in these rounds where you feel like you have a little less to lose, you've just been getting bullied. Everything you tried come through with slower. It's felt rough. When you're playing safe, it hasn't really worked. At least on the same in these rounds where you feel like you have a little less to lose, so you play a bit more come through with something from spawn. Everyone's at least on the same place of like desperation. You play how you find your way in, and it's looking like an apps pop here. Just set piece play from spawn. Even if it comes from players through the apartments, Util ready to come out and help. How you find your way in. There you go. No one's blind to that flash. Jaber allowed to just wreak havoc from down in the pit. And even as he's lost his teammate in the sight, it doesn't matter. It's a losing battle for Metizport. Flash. Jaber allowed to just wreak havoc from down in the pit. And even as he's lost his teammate in the sight, it doesn't matter. It's a losing battle for Metizport.
But no problem for Jaber.
6-0.
Reliable hit player here for the Wildcard squad. Fuzi lets them out apartments there, but and only pistols. This one's got a hit now for Metizport. They're running out of room. Wildcard squad T-side, 6-0 down. Not really made a dent. Pistols. This one's got a hit now for Metizport. They're running out of room in this T-side, 6-0 down. Not really made a dent.
No, and I think that's the part that's so worrying, right? If you don't count the pistol round, they've had like 5 kills so far in the entire game, right? They've barely made a dent. You have multiple players approaching like max cash for the side of Wildcard. They're going to be super entrenched here. Fuzi was nearly at 16k, but he's gone for his first alt purchase of the game now. Fair enough. Wildcard, they're going to be not like he's got money issues, so he can bring that out whenever he wants. At 16k, but he's gone for his first alt purchase of the game. Now,
so fair enough. Force anything here,
not
but
like he's got money issues, so
maybe
he
come
can
as a surprise to Metizport. We've yet to see the worst spawn for Fuzi to take a pick, so can't really force anything here, but we'll still maybe come as a surprise. Oh, it gets off for a second, but oh, that's a missed shot. Lumiach gets tagged as well. So awkward shot to miss. Oh, it gets off for a second, but
got hurt.
That's a missed shot. Lumiach gets tagged as well.
Quick in that.
Yeah. So I looked that on. Awkward shot to miss. Shaking the mouse at the last second.
He's on the line. Fuzi has to be so quick in that.
Yeah. Or not. I looked that on.
The faith they have in Jaber.
A little shake of the mouse at the last second.
He's been left solo on the A side of the map.
Wasn't sure if that was a boost or not.
Only now as he's starting to have reinforcements make their way over. So he's been left solo on the A side to reinforce the A side. Only now as he's starting to have reinforcements make their way over. Long sight line down through Banana. Stang it. So they'll get those 3 players entrenched in A in time. Over at B to take this long sight line down through Banana. So they'll get those 3 players entrenched in A in time.
Pin, flash, perfect. Sides turned. Sonic sees a third. He takes it as well. And we were saying it's not even close. This round is a great example of it. 5v2 in the blink of an eye. Sees a third. He takes it as well. And we were saying it's not even close. This round is a great example of it. Looking the wrong way. 5v2 in the blink of an eye off of one player. They haven't even had a fight in this round. Campers side as well. Looking the wrong way. And Metizport cleaning house. 7-0. You were just saying the money's pretty good. They haven't even had 5 alive at this scoreline. Doesn't make it worse.
It's the fashion in which these rounds are coming up in favor of Wildcard. I don't know how Metizport make a dent, and they haven't. They don't know how to make a dent
the money's
either.
Pretty good. Well, 5 alive at this scoreline.
Like the most they've been able to get away with is like 1 or 2 kills in these rounds. That is the best spot they've been in. I don't know how Metizport make a dent. They've had like 1 notable 5v3. Other than that, everything is just fallen decisively against them. 1 or 2 kills in these rounds. That is the best spot they've been in. They've had like 1 notable 5v3. Other than that, everything is just falling decisively against them. Imagine the onslaught of emotions that Susp is feeling right now. I mean, if you believe that Twins are telepathically linked. Imagine you're really going to 13-0 your twin brother in the opening game of the major.
We said it, now it's not happening, especially because it's solo player on this bomb site. Rotation is scrambled for Stanislaw.
Really going to 13-0
on his
your twin brother in the opening game of the major.
Stan's going to drop it. Now it's not happening, especially because it's solo player on this bomb site. Rotation is scrambled for Stanislaw. 5v2, they had a huge gap. They didn't know it.
Bomb swinging in, and Stan's going to drop it.
Closing anytime soon.
Forget it, it's flawless again.
But no. 5v2, they had a huge gap, they didn't know it. And that gap ain't closing anytime soon unless it doesn't get sharper than this. But no. And again, that's a cool from Sport, but Metizport realized, hey, they're playing heavy B. I don't think they realized just how heavy B that was. Doesn't get sharper cycling nades at the top of Banana. And again, that's a cool. And they speed up. If they went short, they would have found 5-on-1 to Jaber. Just how heavy B that was. 4 players cycling nades at the top of Banana. Calls the move in time. And they speed up. If they went short, they would have found 5-on-1 to Jaber. Pay the price. Instead, Stan calls the move in time in the hole. Or 8-0. No smoke on Arch. Metizport pay the price.
And I mean, I don't, you know, this isn't, for Metizport, even like looking beyond this one game, you don't want to come in here and feel like you quite literally brought nothing to the table. Like there was a world's difference between where you and Wildcard are at. You don't want to come in here at least be making them nervous in some of these rounds. Like there was a world's difference between where you imagine this is the best way to start off your major campaign, making them nervous after sure, you know, a good run to get here, but some winning results. Imagine this is the best way to start off your major campaign.
Yeah, this wasn't the team at the tip of your tongue to say, hey, they're going to make the major.
To get here, but some waning results.
You'd feel now they're here. Yeah, this wasn't the team at the tip of your tongue to say, hey, they're going to make the major. Even for these experienced players on Metizport, feel now they're here. The pressure is somewhat off hand right now. Even for these experienced players on Metizport, keep them unconscious. Dealt a pretty heavy hand right now. Trusting again in a weak A defense. Wildcard that has held strong time after time. Fate coming out for Adam. Trusting again. His team waltz into B. In a weak A defense.
I mean, Fuzi's just been all over the map and he's constantly in the right place. Oh my, doesn't matter. Collateral. Fuzi has skewered them from bad to worse for Metizport. He just can't catch a break. Isaac in these rounds doing all he can. And Adam now in the fray with him. Fuzi they're looking for their first round. That's after they're still the collateral to open this up. Catch a break. Isaac and Adam in these rounds doing all he can. And Adam now in the fray with it down to a 2v2. They're looking for their first round. That's after landing on the first couple. That nade just shy of finding Isaac. The one that gets away. That'd be the regret. We brought it down to a 2v2. Orpin Trench, landing on the first position, but one shot would end Isaac's round, and he's got to be the one to swing out and take contact. Be the regret on that AWP. Orpin trenched, Isaac making magic happen. Isaac's round, and he's got to be the one to swing out and take contact. But he simply doesn't have time for this. And so finally, it takes them 9 rounds of play magic in an unlikely spot. Jaber, 1v1 left to find. Isaac simply doesn't have the 2v5 to put that first round on the board for Metizport.
Yeah, that's not the round you're expecting Metizport to come through, right? 5-on-2, and everyone in the B site swings at the same second. It looked perfect for Wildcard, and they just walk into you're expecting Metizport to come through, right? 5-on-2, and everyone in the B site swings at the same shots for Metizport. Perfect for Wildcard. Making something out of nothing in that round.
I mean, I think Isaac is very much trying to make himself the hero. It was him who, in that round, prior to last on the Tech 9, got like the sprinting double to even add the tiniest bit of intrigue. Now a big clutch up in a 2-on-5. It was him who, in that round prior to last, here we are back for the beating. Sprinting double to even add the tiniest bit of intrigue. Now a big clutch up in a 2-on-5.
Scheduled programming is back on TV.
But here we are back for the beating.
As Wildcard beat up on Metizport. God, through the smoke. After a brief moment of relief. Programming is back on TV. And this is a 5v2 that Wildcard's calling. Let's not lose this. They back up, they play smart. They've got util ready, boosting the B-bomb site. Moment of relief. And And this is a 5v2 the step available. Let's not lose this. They back up, they play smart as can be. They've got util
you don't
ready,
really get games this one-sided. This is wild.
Had a couple of these today. They want the
sign of the times for Metizport. This round has been over for well over a minute, and they've been just forced to sit back and hold on to these guns. They need anything they can get at this point. Times for Metizport. This round has been over for well over a minute, and they've been just forced to sit back and hold on to these guns. They need anything they can get at this point. And I mean, also, like, when you're, like, Pit Apartments player is
the right one.
8-1, that's a very good sign of the times. Jaber just not ever being an issue over towards A, and that's in spite of him sometimes going for these aggressive moves. 8-1, and now like that spread all across the map. It started off with Jaber being the guy let off the leash, ever being an issue over towards A, and that's in spite of him sometimes going for these aggressive moves. Realized the difference in where these teams are at, and now everyone's coming through with the aggression. That's really awkward for Metizport, because this game doesn't even feel like it's playing like normal. Wildcard realized whatever game plan you have, whatever you thought you could exploit, and now everyone's coming through with the aggression. That's bringing that to the field. Very much in-your-face Counter-Strike, and they are fighting whatever game plan you have, whatever you thought the way. Wildcard not necessarily bringing that to the field. Very much in-your-face Counter-Strike, and they are fighting control over this map every step of the way.
How many rounds have started? Three, everyone up banana 4B just to get those HEs down banana through smoke spam. So Metizport don't feel like they can even take B quickly. We've seen, on the mini map how many rounds they've started. Tried a couple of set plays for the most part. HEs down banana, gone nowhere fast. So Metizport don't feel like they can even take B quickly. Metizport for wanting to wait out the util, that of which they've done in this round. Tried a couple of set plays, couple of mollies, and an HE left, gone nowhere fast. This wildcard squad, so you can't blame Metizport for wanting to wait out the util. That is looking like the right call right now for Metizport. Couple of mollies and an HE left here. Final smoke. This wildcard squad. Hell of a difference. This timing, and cs2 gonna get it down and get out. Cool right now for Metizport.
A lot of damage on the smoke spam. It's been coming up all game long.
This
for Wildcard.
Gonna get it
this
down
one's no exception. Clean destruction of that B hit. It's been coming and another flawless round for
4 kills for
Wildcard.
Sonic as well. He has been a demon on this CT side. 16 and 4
destruction
at the moment. Him and sus
and another
not letting them into
round.
B. We can completely write off
as well.
that 5-on-2 because it happened so quick, right? Too quick for Wildcard to even realize. Him and sus. And I'm not even going to call it a mistake. Like, they were 5-2 and they all 5-2.
Confident in this game. It's like everyone's down to fight, everyone's down to clown. That one was like,
I'm not even going to call it a
like you said,
mistake.
it's a quick sequence. You didn't even realize you were going to lose the round until you already lost it in this game. It's like everyone's down to fight. That's the one misstep. And even then, it feels like they've tightened up so much since then. Just to not repeat it. You didn't even realize you were going to lose the round until you already lost it.
This opportunity to dominate.
That's the one
their opening game.
And even then, it feels like they've tightened up so much since then. Just to not repeat one for Metizport to swallow.
Making the most out of this opportunity.
Both teams aware of just how big the gap feels. It's a feel-good game for Wildcard and a rough one for Metizport. He's been very vocal across this game as well. Both teams aware of just how big the gap know exactly what his intentions are on the round, what his read is the AWP, how he wants to be involved across this game as well. Swing and a miss on the cams. He's from his AWP. No advantage yet for Wildcard around what his read is the AWP, how he wants to be involved.
But they know they've just locked Metizport out of B in this map. There's no way that Metizport want to go back to a B execute, surely. With how dominant, we've not seen that, but the hold has been just locked Metizport out of B in this map. Here from Stan again. Metizport want to go back to a B execute. Goes up banana 1 in 10. How dominant as is Hampus, but the hold has been. Metizport try and challenge this A-hole. Luzi provides a bit of cover, a bit of relief. Goes up banana for the B split. The opportunity's opened up. They're going to seize it. No one here to stop and challenge this A-hole.
That's a huge red flag right here for Wildcard. Right, losing sus. He was the solo B defender.
The opportunity's opened up.
There over on the speedway, you might assume there's another player in the site here, so they're being very cautious, and this caution is costing them time. He was the solo B defender. The backstab to come in. Sonic fast on the approach. He's got back up here from the AWP. Very cautious, and this caution. Sonic's been hitting like a one-man army, just going to brave the smoke, runs it through. Fast. Get bested, but there's layers to this here from the AWP. Jaber still only one death in this game. Throw it into one of these retakes now. Bested, but There's layers to this. Just Fuzi, but he knows where all players are. James still out. Only one death in this game. Fuzi collects and a runaway train on this CT side. No love between these brothers as Wildcard beat up on Metizport 11-1. And a runaway train on this CT side. No love between these brothers as Wildcard beat up on Metizport 11-1.
Nintendo Switch 2. Controles Joy-Con 2 que se unen en un instante y una gran, vívida pantalla de alta definición. Juega usando los Joy-Con 2 como un mouse, chatea con amigos y familia y mira sus rostros mientras juegas. Todos juntos, a cualquier hora, en cualquier lugar, en Nintendo Switch 2.
Vamos pro desafio Strip 7.
Strip? Parada é essa, eu não vou tirar a roupa não.
Strip 7 é uma sequência de movimentos, aonde vamos diminuindo a carga e aumentando as repetições.
Ah, ufa, mais tranquilo.
Ó,
nada.
Ó,
Que isso?
Bora, Serol.
Vai jogar bola,
Passar não.
Vai ser o esporte.
11.
Larga a mão, larga a mão.
Fácil. Já que os marombas deram dicas do desafio para os gamers, agora é a vez dos gamers darem dica para os marombas. Essa final está acirradíssima. Às vezes um joga mal, às vezes o outro mostra que não sabe jogar.
É agora. Na caixa. Isso, mano.
Drivers are waiting for the lights to signal the start of a new race. And here we go. It's the kind of performance we all needed.
Gente, eu sou um exemplo, a Sabrina é um exemplo, e o que nós sabemos é que o Enem transforma vidas.
Agora é sua vez.
Onde eu coloco o meu cacto no meu novo AP?
And ACS fans happy at the sight of this one. The squad of Wildcard pull up and dominate Metizport. If you're a Metizport fan, yeah, just go for a walk or something. come back later because this one's been pretty rough. They have one round. The one round they got was kind of cool. It was a 2v5. Outside of that, it's been pretty horrific.
Odds tell the story.
Yeah, they do.
Wildcard perhaps about to end this chapter.
8 months of flea and tick protection have never looked this good. Stop sucking with Seresto.
Plopsky forced to reposition. Hampus tries to help him, but it is Plopsky fed to the walls.
Give it up. When his post block is
mollied out, rough
this round.
Forced to reposition. Hampus tries to help him, but it is Plopsky fed to the walls. Yeah, that's the confidence that comes with 11-1. Fuzi just wanting to take that fight straight up, and Lumi will best him in the head-to-head. Advantage taken for Metizport. They do want to keep this game going any longer. Yeah, that's the confidence that comes with 11-1. On this, but Stan has immediately removed that man advantage in the head-to-head. Whistles down at the back of the site. They know where Sonic and Stanislaw want to keep this game going any longer. They've got to convert on this, but Stan is immediately Sonic closes the distance, and it's clean stuff down at the back of the side. They know where Sonic and Stanislaw both are. As close to the util. The most decisive victory. Sonic closes the distance, and it's clean
quite the same, Harry. It still counts. It still counts. 12-1 right now.
In a way, this was a 13. The most decisive victory you can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same. No, it's quite the same, Harry. But it still counts. It still counts.
Like, you lucked your way around. In a way, this was a 13.
In a way, sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're complaining. 12-1, a quick day in the office here for the Wildcard boys.
You lucked your way around.
And a lost chance for Metizport to dangle in this game. 12-1, a quick day before their thread is cut. For the Wildcard boys. And a lost chance for Metizport to dangle in this game before their thread is cut. It's a very reassuring look for players like Fuzi, players like Sonic. And even though Jaber's not up there on the kills, he was reliable at the beginning of the game when he was getting tested. He was forcing openings. Reassuring look. It was never an issue.
I mean, the two deaths he has, one is from the retake in the final round, which they end up winning anyway, and the other is in the pistol here. Outside of that, he was like so unproblematic in that first half. He was 8-1. I mean, the two deaths he has, one is from the guy anchoring down the A site. They end up winning anyway, and the very much just lived up to his part of the deal. He was like so and eventually they stopped going A altogether, and so Jaber wasn't really in a position to put up numbers. It became the case of just running into these B hits over and over again for Metizport. And eventually they stopped going A altogether, and so Jaber wasn't really in a position to put up numbers. It became the case of just running into these B hits over and over again for Metizport.
So they're going to have to go back to middle, 30 seconds. B-block just came in though. We've got 3 players in position here. Go back to middle, 30 seconds.
One guy who's at least been able to give something to Metizport in these rounds.
In position here.
10 after 1. This is Adam. Swinged out over in the apartment. One guy who's at least been able to give something to Metizport in these rounds to build up on the extremities. As is Adam. They've got to get through the guns out over in the apartment. Kind of at times to get set up here. Sonic down in the pit is a big problem. He can watch the apartment build up, worry about short, and play a crossfire with his team. This is a potent position, but they stuff him out straight away. Set up here. Sonic down in the pit. Jaber dead. Fuzi holding on. Worry about short and play a crossfire with his team. This is a potent position, but they stuff him out straight away. Wildcard, Jaber dead. Fuzi holding on. Punch down. And one man left in it to open up their run in Austin. After a slow start from Complexity, NA's team, it started to be a nice day in the office for fans of NA Counter-Strike. Veteran captains finding success to open. Stanislaw now alongside Nitro as guys who took dubs in the opener. It started to be a nice day in the office for fans of NA Counter-Strike. Holding his own. The Swedes here delivering too. This was a great showing for Wildcard. Now alongside Nitro as guys who took dubs in the opener.
For Metizport, it's going to be a bit of a struggle to come back from a game like that.
The Swedes here delivering dominant. This was a great showing for Wildcard.
Into your first major as a had the better hand today, and for Metizport, it's going to be a bit of a shocking blow, a bit of a crumbling. You could say for Wildcard. Very excited to see if this team can run through stage 1, as all expectations are there after a game like that. A bit of a shocking blow, a bit of a crumbling, you could say, and for Wildcard,
to head on over and shake your siblings' hand after they beat you 13-1. An absolute clinic put on by Wildcard, and as Harry aptly said, you know, if we're to head on over Complexity and from the North American side of the equation, 2 very solid starts from like Stanislaw and Nitro. An absolute clinic put on.
Gotta give it to Wildcard. That was a clinical performance, not only by the team but also some of the individuals. Fuzi had a showing with the Sonic, a player that we'll talk more about him later. Gotta get deeper into it. I think he's a silent star winning that lineup. Not only by the team, very impressed by Wildcard. Not gonna lie, I expected more from Metizport, but Sonic, a player that they played a good game later as we get deeper into it. I think he's again that, as you mentioned, he's like the silent star of this team. Very he once again proved to be one of the greater fraggers inside of the team. I think obviously it must feel really fun to be Metizport again. Going up against a team that they probably had a feeling that they could contest with, maybe even beat, and then to lose 13-1 in that fashion, you know, it's not the start they were looking for, but then on the other hand, it's a really good start for both
feeling that they could contest with. I mean, in that situation, it's and then it's a good direction for the tournament for the NA fans. It's not the start they were looking for, but then on the other hand, it's a really good start for both of our
NA. Who's going to be the new Cloud9?
In that situation, it's Cloud9 went 0-2. Remember that tournament for the NA. So
you're saying complexity of the new Cloud9. That's what we paid the big bucks for. Yeah, I mean, obviously takeaways.
Cloud9 went 0-2. Remember that.
They did go. So you're saying complexity of Metizport.
I can't wait to see Metizport having the debut at the major.
Takeaways.
They didn't show up. It's going to be one of those where they forget it, they move on, and the next game is the one that counts for them.
Yeah. Talk about one-sided affairs going down.
I can't wait to see Metizport having the debut at the major for the next one. They didn't show up. Oh, yeah, it's going to be one of those where they forget it, they move on, and the next game is the one that counts for them. What's going on with these games?
Going down.
They're all supposed to be
other stream because that is where Fluxo.
You should have picked Fluxo and Metizport.
Oh my! I have Fluxo. What's going on with these games?
Yeah,
I don't have Flying as a 3-0.
Flygus won the pistol, converted. Fluxo won 1 round.
I have
Ever sit. It's a rough one.
I think we all have Flygus.
Flygus won the pistol, converted. Fluxo won
I think it would be a bummer if you didn't. I mean, they are a team that has been playing multiple tier 1 tournaments, and also that for them coming here, sure they have that one spot out there in the region. So of course they are a team that has been playing multiple tier 1 tournaments. So they are also a team that and also that for them coming here, sure they try to play against the best teams in the world on multiple occasions. So it's not like they only go up against like national teams. They have so they are also a team that sometimes they put up a fight against better teams. In this case, they've been playing against Fluxo, so it's not like they only go up against Counter-Strike, we're not the national teams right now. They have tried, so for them it looks like sometimes they put up a fight against their teams.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you of what happened in Melbourne. We talked about, the extra added weight of FlyQuest. They obviously wanted to make it to the arena. That's not a task. I know 6 teams out of the 16 teams actually make it through to the playoffs. What happened in but obviously the extra added weight. Vitality in that first game, they lost to them. Then they actually managed to eliminate Virtus Pro, and then the Fury teams actually make that was still a 2-1 affair. They made Navi obviously they had rough around the edges in that first game. I think maybe they lost to them. Then they actually managed to eliminate Virtus Pro.
I agree.
And then
I think that's definitely it's a team that I'm almost guaranteed you will make it to stage 2, and it's also me and Peter had the conversation right. Whoever goes 3-0 here in stage 1 is not necessarily the biggest favorite. That's definitely teams coming from stage 1 into stage 2 you will make it to stage 2, and it's also I think regardless of me and Peter had the conversation right. 3-1 or 3-2, they will be my go-to pick, depending on how they play obviously and how they lose the game from stage 1 into stage 2. The team that has the highest chance together with Heroic, I think of making it to stage 3-0 or 3-1 in that regard, because I think they will be my go-to. They've already shown us they can play against some of the best teams in the world. They can make them sweat. Team that has the highest chance together. They almost beat Navi, and those are 2 teams coming into stage 2 as well. So I think, as you said, in that regard, shown us they can play against some of the best teams in the world. But make them sweat. I think FlyQuest beat Virtus Pro. They almost beat Navi, and probably those 2 teams coming into stage 2 as well. So together with in that regard, when it comes to facing better options,
yeah, I mean they've tried it multiple times, and I think the reason why
in the sense that they are probably the most
people maybe look at FlyQuest and maybe I wouldn't say forget
when it comes to facing,
but it's the whole fact that they're from Australia. I mean I think they've tried the whole regions and I think the reason why it's like easily overlooked. People maybe like the competition come out of that region is just so small, so they're always just going to make it. And I think and I've addressed the whole thing. They're practicing against the regional teams, and how do they develop? They're not like they've decided to move to Europe or North America. They're always just trying to improve, but they're still going up against some of the greatest teams in the world when they play the tier 1 tournament against the regional teams. And how do they develop? They're not like at a point where to move to Europe or North America to try and improve, but they're still going up against some of the greatest really high tier Counter-Strike, and they can put up some really good numbers, but it just feels like they will never win anything. It's at a point where that's the thing, they will never win anything. I feel like they can play really high tier Counter-Strike and they can put up some really good numbers, but it just they will never get to a point where they win like a tier 1 tournament. That's the thing, they will never win anything.
I think it's always an interesting conversation, right? We have those like gatekeeper teams, and I don't even think I would class FlyQuest as like a gatekeeper of like the top 10. I think it's always an interesting conversation. That's the thing, they have the potential to do it, and every so often they kind of make an upset. I don't know whether the Virtus Pro game was like such an upset, or such a massive upset for Melbourne, but it was still something that I thought every so often they kind of make an upset. I want to see them have that Virtus Pro game was like such an upset. They can make this lower bracket kind of interesting at times, right?
I think that's a fair ask, and as Peter said, they're never going to win anything, and they don't have the player material to win anything. They don't have the circumstances to win anything. They can't practice winning their reach. Peter said, they're never going to win anything. And if they ever got to a point where they were good enough to be a gatekeeper, good enough to be a top 10 team, then that would require them to move away from Oceania. And if they would require them to move into Europe in order to get more good qualified practice, because otherwise you're just going to stagnate. So that would require them to move away from FlyQuest being a world beater. It's very hard to imagine them even being a gatekeeper in that sense. But as you said, a fair ask is being very hard to imagine in the lower bracket that can world beater. It's very hard to imagine them even being a gatekeeper in that sense. But as you said, a fair ask is being an upset team in the lower bracket that can sometimes be some of the best.
Ready to miss some more clutches. In the building. Sorry, Prius. In the production room. I hear we have a certain Prius. You know
that guy in.
Do you know the story of... You know the story behind Prius, right?
Yeah.
You know that it's not true. I'm just going to put it out there.
No,
you know that guy in.
You know the simple fooling. You know the story, right? You know that it's not true. And you know how that... I'm just going to put it out there. If you're an observer. Is he going to hit that? Probably not. So you know the simple fooling.
Oh shit,
no scope.
There was a meme that was how that obviously wasn't actually true. Allegedly, according to him.
Is he going to hit that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the truth is. Let us know on Blast TV. Red Zone that was hashtag. If you know the truth, I'm not sure. According to him. So actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the truth is.
What is he doing here? Who let that guy in the building?
Red Zone hashtag. If you know the truth,
that's true. Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
Sorry,
in this building.
In this actual building.
What is he doing here?
No,
who let that guy in the building?
He lives in Texas. I think he lives here.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's true. Bring him in this building. Let me explain it himself.
Should we go through some of the questions?
Yeah, check it out.
We're only on a break because the stream is on their half-time break. Should we go through some of the questions?
Yeah, check it out.
We're only on a break because the stream game is on their half-time break as well. Okay, y'all think Cobble and Cash are actually good maps, or is it just nostalgia bait? Oh, I'm such a sucker for nostalgia.
So we already talked about
think Cobble and Cash is good maps?
No, that's fine. We can just briefly go over it again. I've never liked Cobblestone. It's never a map that I found fun. Yeah, I never liked it. And same thing for Cash. I mean, I think it's like a community. Like a lot of the community players, they like it. I've never liked Cobblestone. Maybe it's just because I'm biased that we never really were good on in my team, so we just didn't put the effort. I mean, I think it's like maybe that's a lot of the community players, they like it
because it's so different.
Maybe it's just because I'm biased that we never really were good in my team, so we just didn't put the effort.
Oh yeah, no, we're talking about
so maybe that's just
right. Yeah,
Cobble good. I miss Cobble good. New Cobble is so different. It's not necessarily a good map, but it's so different.
Maybe you should. Oh yeah, no, we're talking about old Cobble.
Old Cobble,
right? Yeah,
old Cobble good.
No, new Cobble's
good. New Cobble, nah.
Not even in the consideration. Maybe you should. Is that already up? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I don't think I have any other. Well, yeah, I did play a small part of my career.
No,
very small with.
I'll say Sonic 2 then.
Did you? You had Sonic as well. I don't think I have any other. Well, yeah, I did play a small part of my career.
Is it next to take over head
I'll
coaching?
say Sonic 2 then.
Question mark? I don't.
Did you? You had Sonic as well, right?
At some point maybe. I don't know.
Like you move away from it. No,
never say never, Peter.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
I don't know.
It's going to happen.
Who has the best jersey?
At some point maybe. I don't know.
Like you move away from it.
Going all the way back or now?
Never say never, Peter.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Now.
Yeah,
at this tournament.
Hasn't stipulated jersey.
I'll do it for him. At this tournament?
Like going all the way back or now?
Now.
No.
Well, we haven't seen all
of it. Haven't stipulated.
I'll do it for him.
Which was suggested by one of our producers yesterday, I think. And I agree with it.
Well, we haven't seen all of it.
We should do.
We haven't seen them all. That's right. You never give me credit for anything. Apart from the one occasional dictionary word.
Well, it's in there.
Yeah. That's right. You think there's going to be a cosmetic comic in this game? I don't. One occasional dictionary word.
If they win the pistol.
Well, it's in
there.
But
they won't. You think there's going to be a cosmetic comic in this game? I don't. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong.
If they win the pistol.
Let's go, Nedic. Your rookie.
My rookie. My guy. He's not from Australia. I accidentally put. I did, and I'm sorry.
Where's he from?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Right.
He's not from Australia. I accidentally. What's the difference?
Just kidding.
I did.
Imagine if you're so.
Chad is launching down his aisle as.
What's the difference though? Just kidding.
Yeah, good.
Imagine
no, but really wanted
Chad is launching.
There's no like all the Danish almost not in New Zealand. From
oh, okay. It's like, do you ever get offended when people are like, oh, you must be Norwegian or Swedish? And like, yeah, no, same thing. I don't care. If you call a Canadian an American, then it's like, do you ever get offended when people are like, oh, you must be Norwegian or Swedish? And like, yeah.
What about you and
same thing? I don't care.
UK. What
if you call a Canadian an American? Then
okay, right. I've got like a bit of a. I've noticed my accent.
What about you and like you're from the UK?
I kind of have my more traditional broadcast voice, which is very British. Okay, right. I've got like a bit of. See, even there, I would have said British. I've noticed my accent British change because I kind of have my I'm surrounded by more, which is very British, not like. See, even now I would have said British. But I've noticed my accent British.
So we ruined your accent.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by more, not like southern English speakers. So I've
Hello,
noticed my accent.
guys.
So we ruined your accent, yeah.
People mistake me for Australian.
Australian, really?
Oh my god. Hello, guys. I'm here.
So people mistake me for Australian sometimes. No.
Australian, really?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Pairing is good. You don't?
Nedic, 21 years of age, yes.
Do you
from
care?
New Zealand. No.
Oh my
Real
god.
name?
Oh no.
Well, that's the cosmetic
Nedic,
comeback.
21 years
Coming
of
in
age,
now.
yes. She's from New Zealand.
This is the round that we talked about earlier, Jacob.
Real name?
Oh no.
Well, that's the cosmetic comeback. Coming in now.
This is the round that we talked about earlier, Jacob.
Yeah, true. Yep, true.
Losing.
You know what we've got to speak about? And I'm only doing it because he's down 11-2. Let's not forget the fact that Art is playing right now. You know what we've got to speak about? That's crazy. And I'm only doing it because he's down 11-2. Let's not forget the fact that Art is playing right now.
Yeah,
That's
true.
crazy.
I think so.
You think they can extend the game?
Oh no,
Never mind.
That's going to open up the
They're
map
gonna
10.
throw this?
Well, I was going to suggest if the cosmetic comeback.
If they win this round, we can run it. You think they can extend the game?
Oh no.
Never mind.
Let's wait for.
There's a guy out there.
Tell me the cosmetic case.
If they win this round, we can run
I
it.
could give you a summary. Well, let's wait for.
There's a guy out there.
Matt says, tell me that that's the case. I could give you a summary as well.
What did he say? Well, actually, wait. I'm gonna ask him. Okay. I just asked him.
But you don't
Well,
like
actually,
Art?
wait. I'm gonna
You don't
ask
like
him.
Art?
I'm shocked you think this.
Should we hear from you? Want to hear it? Let's hear it, okay?
You don't like
Who's
Art?
Martin says it's ready.
You don't like Art?
Great to get to catch